We are back on the A Show WrestleMania prediction podcast. This is our biggest show of the year, of course. Back to you again with the next segment for our matches. We have a special guest. But before I get to the special guest, I have to say that this segment is sponsored by Prime Energy Drink, hydration drink, rather.
I don't even know. Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, I guess it is. Shit.
Yeah, like if you didn't know, what match we were going to be talking about in this segment, just know that we have a huge Prime logo somewhere.
It's gonna be all over.
Yo, hold on. Oh shoot! Oh wait.
Logan, holla at us, bro. Like we about to do this. We tagging Logan in this video.
Man,
this is real. This is
real. We're gonna try this for the first time.
Yes.
I haven't tried this since they had that thing. I think they had that bad press of like how it makes your heartbeat jump like 8 times a minute or something along those lines.
That's just being black, baby. That's just being black.
Nonetheless,
this is just for local if it was pre-workout, right?
Facts. Nonetheless, we are here. We are joined by a very special guest, someone who's familiar to the show, friend of the show, just a friend just in general. First time I'm going to say this, Emmy Award-Winning guest. Hold the fuck on, man.
That is it.
Emmy Award-Winning guest. I hope you put that in like the signature of your emails at work and shit. Emmy Award-winning.
Right. Nah, then they might be coming after me and whatnot. So I gotta keep it low, you know what I'm saying?
Some new micro
under promise, over deliver.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, Jeff J back on the A Show here for the WrestleMania prediction party. What is up, man? How are you feeling? It's WrestleMania season, man.
Listen, I feel honored, man. Like to come in and have the trust of Mills and J5 to do my thing as part of a sponsored content, branded content. That's big because branded content, that's big money talk. You know what I mean? So to you to have the confidence instilled in me to be able to deliver for the sponsors, for our great sponsors, shout out to Logan Paul, shout out to Impulsive. This wasn't an impulsive missive that I'm giving you right now. This is from the heart. You know what I mean? Like I'm ready to get this money and talk some wrestling.
That's amazing. Hold up. I'm going to have Prime across the glasses like Jey Uso has. Instead of Yeet, it's just like Prime.
Yeah. Prime.
Every time you hear Descendants, you're going to say Prime. Everybody going to say Prime.
Every time you say Prime, you get money for saying it. So that's why we're doing it this way. But we're back on this segment. Of course, we're going to talk about, first up, we're going to talk about Logan Paul versus Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens for the United States Championship. But before we do that, we actually got to give this a taste test. Just to start it off. So I've got mine here. I got my 2. Jeff's got his 2. Mills got his 2. I'm going to start off with blue raspberry. When I was at the CVS, the lady at the register said, "Haven't tried this one yet. Let me know how it is." She was at least 50 years old, so I don't know what type of freak nasty shit she was about to get in crimes. But I'm going to start off with blue raspberry. What about you, Jeff?
All right, this is strawberry watermelon. We're dispelling stereotypes.
Okay.
One energy drink at a time. You know what I'm saying? I had to keep up with the gimmick. You know, y'all watching on video, got the pink on pink. You know, Cameron would be proud. You feel me?
What about you, Mills? What about you?
You know, I like a nice little lemon lime. You know what I'm saying? It reminds me of Sprite. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, little Sierra Mist, RIP Sierra Mist, whatever that was.
So is Sierra Mist starry now? Or
it is starry.
It's starry.
It is starry, right?
Yeah, it's starry. Which is like, what is this?
It's Ramadan Sprite.
Sounds even more RC Cola than Sierra Mist did. So I know.
It sounds like a Jamaican drink. That's what it sounds like.
Starry.
Oh my. All right, let's try this out. Let's see how it goes.
Okay, so on the count of 3, we're gonna take.
We toast into a great WrestleMania. How about that?
Yeah, we are. There we go. Hey,
a toast to a great WrestleMania. We feel like the Powerpuff Girls on this one.
Yo, that's crazy.
That's pretty good. Wait a minute now.
Yo,
this is.
I told you this is kind of fire.
This is kind of. I'm mad. This is actually good.
I can see why people are running up the walls on this.
Fam.
No, it is
sugary.
sugary.
It's like a Jolly Rancher.
It's candy, literally.
As a drink, but with just enough sweetness. With just enough.
It doesn't go completely overboard. You know what I'm saying? It's a good sweetness. It's sweet, but it's it's not overly sweet.
How is this hydrating me? It's just making me want to it's making me want to do the shit Logan Paul does in the ring.
Yo, my cheeks are flushed. I feel the pumping.
All right.
I feel the blood flow in my cheeks, bro.
So how many Dave Meltzer stars you giving your flavor meals?
I'm giving this. I'm actually giving this a 5. This is pretty good. Okay. This is good as hell. Yeah. Come on, baby.
What about you, Jeff?
You know, since it's happening in Queens and not Brooklyn, I'm gonna give it six stars. You know, location matters. Location matters. So you got to pay the Brooklyn tax meal. So I'm giving this, but I definitely would give it. I definitely give it 5, no cap. And if y'all watching the video, you will see my unfiltered facial reaction when I first sipped it. Like, it surprised me. I thought it was gonna taste like unflavored and just be straight
salty. I thought it was gonna be a whole bunch of
I couldn't drink this every day though.
No, every day. No, unless if I was 9, I could, but not every day.
Right.
All right. I give the blue raspberry a 4.5 star. 4.5 star. I'm not a big blueberry, blue raspberry guy. So the aftertaste for me is
try the next one, because the one you got is going to be on the ring skirt right there. So that's the one that's going to be
Ice Pop.
I got the one with you.
It's going to be all over the ring. I think it is going to be all over the ring. So try that one.
So no, Mills, try your other one. You're not getting out of this.
Okay, all right. I got cherry freeze. I thought it was the same one as that, but apparently it's not.
No,
cherry
all
freeze.
Right. Down the hatch.
All right.
Yeah, this one's it. This one's it. Yeah,
pretty good.
Ice Pop. I like the Ice Pop over the blue raspberry. Ice Pop gets a 5 Meltzer stars.
Okay.
So you had the rainbow pop before, Mills, right? From
of
Mr.
course,
Saucy, the red, white, and blue.
Yeah,
definitely tasted like it. He melted it down into a can or a bottle. So I'll give it 4. Only because I literally tasted the red, white, and blue. Like, I liked it. Like, it hit me. I literally tasted it. And I'm like, damn, it didn't blend. But this is good. But then when we talk about preferences, right? The strawberry watermelon, like, this is more my speed in terms of flavor. Like, I like strawberry drinks. So this felt like Kool-Aid, low-key.
Both of them feel like Kool-Aid.
Yeah, this was like Kool-Aid. That's why I was like, oh, you taking me back. But I like the strawberry better, but this is good. This is solid.
You're not gonna be able to, we can't tell niggas about this.
For us African Americans, they definitely tap
beat
vein. Yes.
What did somebody say? The doctor's gonna yell Kobe while you shooting your foot into the coffin. That's what I was screaming.
Bro, this like Prime is definitely on some big mama your arm type shit. Like, listen.
Bro,
tasty
this
drinks
in the 90s, there would be conspiracy theories about it lowering sperm count. That's how good it is. Right?
Yes.
It's just 1 gram of sugar though.
But that's cap. There's no way that it's one. There's no way there's 1 gram of sugar.
1 gram of sugar. Okay.
I guess 1 gram of sugar, 68 grams of cocaine per person. Because what I tasted is definitely an upper, if you will.
No, this is
So both of these don't have no sugars added.
No.
Bro, I'm not even gonna look at the ingredients.
No, don't even bother.
Coconut water being 10% is wild because it's just like, I'm tasting fucking coconut water in this.
A splash, just threw a splash in there. Coconut water.
A little bit of coconut water in there, and then dilute it with a bunch
of. Who else doing it like us? 50 ain't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, all right. So this is vegan, but it's also 200 milligrams of caffeine. That's why I feel like I want to just run through the screen right now.
Well, hopefully this gives us the energy to talk, and shout out to Logan Paul, by the way, but this gives us the energy to talk about our first match on this segment, the United States Championship match, triple threat match, Logan Paul versus Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. Story of this match doesn't really need to, I feel like at the time of this recording, we haven't even really gotten to like the meat of what Kevin Owens and Randy Orton's issues are. They're still kind of nice to each other here, but I think the real story is, can Logan Paul be a main event level big match type of guy for WrestleMania? We saw him in 2 WrestleManias in a row in Dallas with The Miz, with Seth Rollins last year. Now he's working with the ring general in Randy Orton, and really a fan favorite / legend, ring general everything, and Kevin Owens as well, who also main event in WrestleMania. This is big company that Logan Paul is a part of. Is this his moment to break out?
I mean, it might be. It's crazy. This is his 4th WrestleMania, like 3 with matches, but the first one, unironically, with KO.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he gets stunned by KO in front of half of attendance for WrestleMania. And then the following one, teaming with The Miz against Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio. The following year against Seth Rollins, and now this year he's in a triple threat match, and he's the United States champion.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something also to boot. This is definitely, since Logan has become full-time wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
He says this is his goal. I think this match will be very telling in terms of the direction of what we expect from him over the next couple of months. I'm looking at that SummerSlam thing as a Logan. There's something with Logan definitely happening there.
Yes.
But it's honestly, he can't even surprise me. He legitimately, like, he's so good. Like, I don't think at this point I'm even surprised anymore of like how he's gonna compete or how he's gonna do. He's legitimately like incredibly good at what he does. It's actually kind of infuriating. And his drink is fire too. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, come on.
What about you, Jeff? Is this his chance to break out?
I think he's already a breakout star. I think he's already a breakout star. I think that happened when he had that moment with Ricochet, when they went viral, when he had that one-on-one with Roman Reigns. He's broken out as a celebrity star attraction who is just infuriatingly good at wrestling. And literally everything that he touches, it turns into gold, it seems, whether you like him or dislike him. I think this upcoming WrestleMania is his time to break out as a legit wrestler, as a legit superstar, to show that I'm not a novelty. This isn't my hobby. I'm about this. I'm 10 toes down. This is what I want to do. And now I have a chance to defend my title, this title that I earned, and defend it on the biggest stage, because everything to this point has been an attraction. Now he's having an actual match, right, where the stakes are a title and not just to go viral. So how do you carry yourself as a champion, as an incumbent coming into WrestleMania 40, a milestone WrestleMania? This isn't like when you turn 20 and it's the gap year before you turn 21, where you're just like 20 is like it's like being in purgatory until you turn to 21. This is a milestone WrestleMania. So how are you going to make your moment as a professional wrestler as opposed to the celebrity influencer turned wrestler? So in terms of that type of breakout, I think that's on the table. But at this point, if anybody's surprised about how Logan Paul gives it up in the ring, I don't know where you've been. You gotta open your eyes.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, I mean, I'm gonna get back to Logan in a second. Kevin Owens, he main evented WrestleMania 2 years in a row. Yep. Last year, the first tag match to ever main event WrestleMania like that, tag team title match rather. Then with Stone Cold in Dallas. This year, not really close. Is this something where like does KO need to prove himself at this point to be like, okay, like I still got it, or is this just something where he knows the position that he's in and he's willing to play it? I mean, I feel like if I get 2 WrestleMania main events, I'm made for life. I'm not even tripping. But what do you guys think?
So, Meals, you want to go?
Sorry. No, go ahead.
Kevin Owens is like Snoop Dogg to me at this point. It's straight side quests. It's straight side quests right now. Short of winning the title at Mania, I don't know how you top what he did for the last 2 years. He main evented with Sami Zayn, with his best friend, in a tag match that was the main event of WrestleMania, which if I told you that 10 years ago, you would have thought I was on every drug.
Yeah.
On every drug.
You would have thought you was on 10 primes.
Right. What is that? 2,000 milligrams of caffeine? You would have thought I was on 2,000 milligrams of caffeine if I told you a tag match in WWE would main event a WrestleMania, regardless of how many nights.
Right.
And would captivate the crowd. We was in there, Justin. We saw how everybody was going up. Like whatever you heard on TV was 10 times louder. And they finished that story, and at that point, there's nothing else left to do. And then, before that, the year before in 38, he had a match with Steve Austin, with the GOAT, with Stone Cold Steve Austin, that in his hometown, as an away game, in the hometown of Stone Cold Steve Austin and put on a memorable match, which no one would have thought. And if you would have asked anybody, Kevin Owens, do you think he would be a good main eventer for Stone Cold? There might have been some who doubted him, but back to back, he's proven that he could carry a Mania main event. So at this point, he's just vibing. He's just vibing at this point.
So to your point, though, it's been kind of a weird year for KO. Like, even with the main event, he was injured, I think, twice. I think he was injured on Raw one episode. He got injured on Raw and he was gone for a couple of weeks. Their tag team title run didn't really go as planned, right? Like, it was injuries. It was all types of things going on that really stopped that from being what it was. And then he was kind of aimless for a while. Can he get back on track here before we even get to the predictions of who we think we're going to win? Like, does this match put him back on track?
I don't know. I honestly, KO has been, I think his greatest strength has been that he's like a 5-tool player. He can literally do anything. You can slot him in anywhere. He can fix it. He can make anything really look good, or he's just kind of like solution anything, or even if you don't need a solution, he is at least there for vibes. Mm-hmm. I think Kevin Owens is he's one of those wrestlers that are incredibly self-aware of the position that he's in and the role that he's playing in this match. And I think he's grateful for just being on WrestleMania, albeit probably not the best circumstances, probably not the ideal circumstances. But like you said, Justin, he's probably already chalking that up to, I was literally in back-to-back main events for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
This is, I don't know where to go. This is his, I'm not going to say this is his like Chris Jericho versus Fandango, but this is literally his mid-card side quest.
That's what AJ's doing, by the way. That's
yeah. We're going to talk about him. But I don't know what Kevin Owens kind of needs to do. Kevin Owens just needs to, because I don't want to say turn heel. I think he's literally done everything that he kind of can do.
Besides winning the WWE title, I think the last, or winning the Royal Rumble, I think those are kind of the last two qualifiers that he needs. But I think that even if in a career, we look at the third participant in this match, Randy Orton, who's done everything twice and is now in this position. You're almost, in a way, you're looking at KO and Randy Orton as mirrors of each other. They're looking at each other like, oh wow, we've had, I mean, Randy Orton, you might not have looked at it the same way. He might, you might be called the chosen one, but he also had his own personnel problems that kept him from greatness at times. But with these two, you're looking at the kind of like a old stage Randy Orton and the new stage at Randy Orton here, with KO and Randy Orton here looking at each other now, trying to make another star in Logan Paul, which is crazy to think about in that way.
And I think you have to really, and I think what Randy has done, especially considering his last run with Riddle and kind of like everything with Drew McIntyre, even previous to that, I think he understands his role of like creating the next generation of talent. And I think he's taken great solace, and it takes a lot of, it takes removing a lot of ego, especially in a position he's in where you can have as much. He's like 14-time world champion, 2-time Rumble winner, everybody like that. And like you said, done everything twice. And this is a moment where he could probably have an ego, but he understands his role in this situation too. I kind of wonder if it's the same thing with Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens not quite accomplished as much as Randy Orton, but is he ready at this point of his career? He might not be, to be like, oh, it's time for the next people up. He might be like, yo, it's still my time. I'm still trying to get mine. I haven't beaten Roman Reigns yet. God dang.
We might have to lock him down and get a gun next time he faces Roman Reigns, consider what this man has done to him. But I want to get to our predictions, because I have like a very, it's not even like a crazy opinion of it, but I think in this match, I think Logan's gonna win. I think that neither of these guys need the US title. I think the real story here is either Randy or KO turning heel after this and going after each other. I think that's a better program to me, at least in the interim after this. But I think Logan Paul absolutely comes out on top. What about you, Jeff?
Yeah, I don't see a reason for Logan Paul to lose the U.S. title unless he's going for the bigger belt in his hometown at SummerSlam. I do think it would be more dramatic and raise the stakes if he went in as the U.S. champion and challenged for the world heavyweight title, so that he would be teasing a two belt Logan, right? So I think that might be a little bit more intriguing. But at this point, to your point, Justin, I don't see what a Kevin Owens or Randy Orton U.S. title reign, given these circumstances right now, would do for either of them, or even the storylines they have upcoming. And to your point about Kevin Owens before, I think you're sitting on your own personal Money in the Banks with KO and Randy Orton, where you can unlock it at any time to tell a specific story, shooting them to the top. Randy's 2 away from Flair.
Yeah.
So you know if they give him 15, it's going to have to mean something. KO still hasn't won a title at Mania. I might be bugging. Has he won Money in the Bank?
No.
He hasn't, right?
No.
So he hasn't won one of those major events yet. So that's something that you could sit on to kick a can down the line to 41 or 42. So I think while they're doing that, and plus, they've been too buddy-buddy. They're two people who are prone to turn on you at the drop of a dime. So it's almost like it's like DTA mirror match right now. Like Earth 1, Earth 2, DTA, Stone Cold Steve Austin, right? And it's like you're waiting on who's gonna turn on who first. Maybe they turn on each other. You can't trust either one. So I think to your point, that program would matter. So I don't see Logan Paul walking out of here without the US title.
And even more interesting, I don't think these two have ever had a prolonged program with each other ever either.
No.
So it's a first.
No, it's definitely a first. Again, for all intents and purposes, I'm going to say Logan Paul is coming out of this, unless, again, it's a situation where one of them turns on the other. Maybe takes advantage of an opportunity. The other person gets really, really salty. That begins the machinations of a heel turn. I can see something like that if they're thinking like long term, if they want to do a Randy versus KO program over the summer. But honestly, I mean, Logan Paul seems to be the ambassador for everything. WWE carrying that championship around, doing everything. I'd find it hard pressed to say that they would take it away from him right now. But he will lose it eventually. But just I don't think right now. I would love to see sidebar. I would also love to see a little bit more Logan Paul matches. Yeah. I think if he wants to really solidify himself, superstar status, he's got to be a little bit more active in the ring. Maybe a couple. I don't want to say SmackDown here and there, but definitely a little more pay-per-views, more just a tiny bit, a smidge bit more competitive. So it. Because now you're treading the line between a novelty act, which Logan Paul is. If he only shows up at the Big Four, is essentially he's like a Pat McAfee, but wrestles really, really well. Or is he someone that you really like? He's a champion. He's really about this, and that's why he's a great contender for the World Championship in the future. So that's all I'll have to say about that. I
think that SmackDown is going to need a big heel coming out of WrestleMania. I'm gonna telegraph my prediction for later on in the show. Okay, I think SmackDown needs a premier heel that is going to be there, as Emil said, more often than not, more weeks than not. I think something's gonna have to give by July. I say coming out of this, you have him win it, have KSI show up and be his second guy, because I do think KSI will be showing up to get his lick back. My brother needs to get his lick back. And I think that you have Logan Paul win Money in the Bank, but through the most devious way to do it. And he wins Money in the Bank and he says, Cody, I'm again telegraphing, because we have a big rant on the main event, me and Meals coming up. We have a big rant on people and their thoughts about the story. Cody, I am the biggest motherfucker that you have ever faced. Fuck Roman Reigns. I'm not even going to sneak up on you. I'm going to cash in Cleveland, in my hometown at SummerSlam, and have him say that as soon as he wins the Money in the Bank. And then through the summer, you have him do what Meal said, have matches with other people to prove that he's got the cachet to do it. And then you lead that to Cleveland. I think that is the best way to set up Logan, is like that big heel that SmackDown is going to need on the USA Network coming up in the next 12 months. I think that's the best way to do it.
Damn, they're gonna say that prime check hit crazy.
Hey, right?
That direct deposit, boy.
I didn't say he should win it, but I will say You should win it.
I mean,
Zell. That might be Zell. That might not even be director. You know, they immediately when you have the Zell bank, it pops up immediately.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. It would be wild if he lost on the debut of his prime drink being like the logo in the middle of the ring. It would be wild if he took that L.
But I also feel like in this match, KSI finally needs to get his he needs to like get his comeuppance in some way, shape, or form. He needs to actually the plot needs to succeed. Because last year the KSI plot did not succeed. During this match,
never succeed. He's Team Rocket, baby. Blast him off to the sky.
But Team Rocket, it happened. It did work.
It happens every now. Yeah, it happens every now and then.
I think KSI needs to be his kind of comedian because there needs to be somebody that gets beat up for him. You know what I mean? And I think that the Austin Theory and Grayson, they have their own thing. They don't need to be getting beat up for Logan Paul. You know what I'm saying? It needs to be somebody from his world. Kind of like Pat McAfee Stooges. It needs to be Logan's podcast buddies. And I think there needs to be like Cody needs to have, or I doubt him. Listen, Cody. All right. We said this coming in the show. I'm acting with the full knowledge that come Monday the 8th, the shit will be righted. He needs like a big time kind of like John Cena, Kevin Federline type moment in his reign to show that he can have these kind of silly, you know, he does the Stephen Amell shit. This is bigger than the Stephen Amell bullshit. I think that if Cody comes out as a champion, Logan Paul and Cody earmark that shit for Cleveland. I don't give a fuck. Injuries be damned. Earmark that shit for August or July. And yeah, so I think that'll be what happens there. But I do enjoy the fact that we're all Logan Paul enjoyers. So shout out to Prime. Next match we're gonna talk about. I know Jeff's happy about this one.
Yeah.
For all you LA Knight enjoyers. Yeah, go ahead, sip the Prime.
The Night's Watch.
AJ Styles versus LA. What? Huh? Yeah, Knight. Listen, I'm gonna be real with you here. And I said this on the show, I am actually really enjoying the way that this storyline is being built. I thought that the way that it happened in Elimination Chamber was really masterful. I thought the men's Elimination Chamber was actually booked really well to set up 3 different storylines there.
Right.
And from here, you've had it where AJ is kind of playing kind of a chicken shit heel that doesn't think he's a chicken shit heel, who thinks that he's like above LA Knight. And I think that it's working. I think LA has been giving some of his best in my opinion, kind of snatched from the 90s promos. He's been actually giving some fire. And I think that AJ getting the best of him has kind of made the fans want to see LA get his hands on AJ, which is the crux of this match. I think that's why people want to see it. But I think in general, what I want to talk about first is LA Knight's career since November. I think that in November of 2023, everyone was saying, some people were saying he should have beat Roman. Some people were saying that. I
don't know who's. I saw it.
I saw it in the Discord. You know what's funny? when MC doesn't even like have any type of memes for the Roman's challenger, doesn't even say anything like that.
He was defeated, bro.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Mark turned into I hope it's a good match. Like, well, not even Mark had faith in this guy, but
I think in that November. I mean, granted, I think they were capitalizing on kind of the swell behind LA Knight. There was a real kind of like movement behind LA Knight, and I've always like compared it something like, and maybe they should have gone in this direction, but hey, who knows? I've always compared it to DDP a little bit. Of like, you get the real people behind you, you get the people kind of moving, and maybe that's the direction you go as the people's champion in a sense. And if he wants to take that term, to be honest with you, and if The Rock is okay with it, to be honest with you, I say he take that term. It even makes The Rock more heelish if he wants to continue as a heel, if he wants to be the people's champion. But LA Knight, I feel like also in that moment, punching above his weight class in a bit. A little bit of, no one really thought he was going to win. It didn't really feel like it was the stars had aligned, the moments that kind of like crossed up. It just felt like, hey, this is the guy that we're anointing for the moment. Here now, I think we get that. I think he's now having that opportunity that he didn't have all of last year to really like get his foot down and really start, moving in that direction. I think this AJ Styles feud is definitely a point for that, to keep him orbited around that main event scene. He's still on Mania, which is I mean, there's a lot of people that aren't on Mania.
Yeah,
he's still on Mania. So by virtue of this
one-on-one match, not no multi-man.
Not no throw him out the ring battle royal, not no Andre the Giant on Friday, none of that stuff. He's on WrestleMania. So I think that's an indication that they still have some faith in him to be able to do what he does, and he's still got that connection with the crowd. AJ Styles, though, like
I mentioned Kevin Owens 2023. I don't think anyone's had a more fraught and kind of like up and down 2023 as AJ Styles. I mean,
it's because he didn't get the challenge for the damn belt.
Yeah, it was weird, right? He gets taken off TV for mad long. I don't know if it was injury related or not. He was injured to start the year, I believe, with his ankle or whatever. He had gotten hurt.
It's sometime last year before he returned. Yeah, before he returned for the Fatal 4-Way.
Yeah,
and Ozempic AJ. You know what I'm saying?
But it was like he had missed so much time. I think that if anyone's been getting their ass whipped by Father Time, it's been AJ. I think we've definitely, and this isn't to like shit on him as a performer. He still goes out there and gives 100%. I still think that even in the 4-way at Royal Rumble, he was still working his ass off. It was the most that I've really enjoyed an AJ match in a while. But I think that it's been obviously we're missing some of the explosiveness, some of the oomph that he had when he first got to WWE. And I mean, it's not even to compare the TNA run, like. But I think that there's a cause to be like, okay, maybe this match is more of AJ style now. Like it's slower, more methodical. He doesn't have to jump around and do a whole bunch of crazy stuff anymore. I think in a lot of ways, this is actually his speed. I think this matchup is actually more even than people think.
What about you, Jeff?
Yeah, I agree with what y'all are saying. I think for the LA Knight point, I look at LA Knight's run up until Roman as they were looking at him like GameStop. Those options were hitting, the stock was up. We know it's gonna crash, so we need to invest and get in and get out now while we can make the maximize our investment, right? And to LA Knight's credit, he treaded water a lot better than GameStop post pump and dump, right? So with him, I think he was, and I think he even said it in an interview that he thinks that he got that opportunity probably too soon or way before he was ready. But here's the other side of that. Whether you're ready or not, opportunity don't wait for you. If somebody says, hey, we putting you in a world title match, even if I'm not ready, guess what? I'm ready. I'm ready and I'm gonna do it. I'd rather y'all say I was ass in a world title match than say I never challenged for the world title at all. Because there's some people who can say that they never challenged for a world title at all. Having said that, the question is, did he learn his lessons from that whole situation, and how do you apply those lessons going forward? I almost look at Knight as, and it's kind of eerie how this is happening, he almost is taking the baton from Bray in terms of the gimmick matches, this exaggerated version of the sports entertainment part of this variety show of pro wrestling that we watch, right? I think he's kind of taking that now. And when I looked at that the last, I think it was SmackDown, where he was outside his house in Georgia, that was like, yo, if you're gonna tap into what you loved about Attitude Era, that was the best part of LA Knight, tapping into what he loved about the Attitude Era and what we would see and making it his own. Like him being in the backseat, cuffed up, like, yeah, I know you're doing your job, but guess what? You think I won't come back next week if you don't show up? Nah. You're gonna have to put out a warrant. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Like, he stayed in character as he was getting arrested. A whole lot of privilege there. That's another show.
Yeah, but I remember thinking, I see you're doing your job. What you mean by that, LA?
Right. No, you know that's how they be saying, like, when they be getting arrested, like if you was in college and the guys the frat boys would get arrested for drinking in public and decent exposure. They're like, oh, you know, guys, I know you're doing your job. You know, my uncle, he's a sheriff, and so once they make that connection, you know they're good money. So I can see a lot of that talk, but I think he's leaning into the best parts of his character. How that translates in the ring, we got to see. But I think for him and AJ, it's almost as if they're using that immortal TNA type playbook to get the best match they can out of each other possible, and even more importantly, getting us to buy in. That whole scene, because LA Knight and AJ kind of felt like it was like two old heads arguing, which is like, all right, they're gonna get some jokes off or whatever, but why do I care? Now I care because now it's violence. It's real violence. They don't want no titles. They don't want a WrestleMania moment. They just want violence, and you need that. You need that as part of your card. You need grudge matches. This is like a grudge match, and I think for those two, the way they're building it, it can work to be something substantial for both of them and entertaining for the crowd.
Now, who do you think is going to come out on top of this match? Meals, I want to start with you.
Man, I think
AJ, mind you, AJ does not have a stellar WrestleMania record.
No, but I low-key think there's something to this this OC thing that's been hinted at for the last couple of months of like, you guys are lame. I'm not associating with you guys. And I low-key think there's something to get involved within this match that cost LA Knight that match. I think if you want to continue to heat this up, you want him to be like, he's got to go up against a million people that get to AJ Styles all over again. I feel like this is the opportunity. I feel like the OC's losing ways, whether it be on NXT or main roster, they're losing all the same. But their losing ways will help change their kind of direction on their outlook on how they look things. This is just my I think AJ Styles is going to win anyway. LA Knight is great, but I feel like to continue to keep this feud going, kind of keep the heat going, AJ Styles, and AJ hasn't had, believe it or not, he hasn't had a lot of matches since he started back.
Right.
He's had maybe 2, 3.
He's at the 4-way, and he's had the
tag match. It was a tag match. It was a handicap match. So he hasn't really had a lot of matches. I wonder what's the reason behind that. But
he fought Orton, right?
Yeah,
he fought that was in Meadowlands. What do they call it? MetLife. It was in MetLife.
Yeah.
It was in MetLife with the we can't see when they were shining the light in the crowd.
Oh,
and then,
yeah.
Undertaker.
He's faced he's faced people, yeah. The matches has been.
You wasn't messing with the last ride. You wasn't messing with the last ride.
I mean, it ain't about that. He also had matches against AJ. He had matches against Shinsuke. He had matches against Edge.
The only person he beat really was Shinsuke, right? And Shane McMahon.
Yeah.
Those are the only two people he beat.
He did beat
I forgot
Shane
about Shane.
McMahon.
Yeah, he beat Shane, and AJ's arguably his best Mania match. Let's just be clear, that's his best one. But what do you think, Jeff? Before I get to mine, because I got a theory about mine.
Oh, okay, is it double entendre or
no, not that theory. He'll be catering at that time.
Oh, wow. Hey, down. So I think AJ's gonna win. I know it's a new era, so I think there is something to the effect of getting your lick back and writing your record. And if there's a trend one way, unless it's meant for you, a la Bianca Belair. Shout out to Bri Bosa. You already know the vibes. If you see the video, you know. Where they're probably gonna be intentional about her streak. I feel like AJ has kind of did the favors for the last few Manias. And it's time to get it back. And also to J5's point and Mills's point, what does LA Knight winning do for this storyline if you want to keep it going? And if Mills is going where I think he's going, which is the dudes that I forgot about that's supposedly supposed to be on the way, this could be how Stella got a groove back for the Bullet Club, right? This could be the rebirth. So
I raise you that. Well, you gonna say something, Mills?
No, I was like, don't let the Bullet Club make it to Mania, because if they make it to Mania, they really the other side is gonna be like, damn, we ain't making it.
It's gonna be a lot of skiing going on.
Hey,
the Alps is gonna go crazy.
I also think that AJ will win this match, but to further that narrative, we do know that Tama Tonga's on his way. Let's just go ahead and put it out there. He's on his way. However, the WWE champion, the Universal champion, is going to need a contender after Mania, and you need somebody to win to have that first match back. What better than to have somebody that was in that group face somebody that led that group to come out of it for your spring program?
I didn't even think of that. I forgot Cody was
Toronto, there, right?
I forgot Cody was in Bullet Club.
Yes. What better? What he did it Monday and pointed at
wearing his cuffs. When he went on his promo, he said he had the cuffs on. You know what I mean? He's gang. He said he gang, bro. Like,
hey, the storyline implications of this one person winning this title are very vast and very much. And again, the story permeates throughout WrestleMania. The Cody story permeates throughout this whole show because he has connections with nearly every male performer on the show, on the roster so far. Nearly all of them that we're going to be talking about on this show. But he also needs challengers because that title is going to be on the show every week now. I think that AJ wins this to get the momentum to be the kind of like your upper card heel with his group going into it. And then from there you have AJ versus Cody. It makes the most sense to me. I think that these are the two directions. It's AJ in his club, and then it's Logan Paul in the primers.
The prime. The prime would be crazy.
You call me crazy. I know they might not go this way, but it makes the most sense to me. It really does.
I like it. And then Cody has so many, like, this is just I guess one volume of the story that he's finishing. And it's just the first volume. When you get to season 2, there might be the ghost of
their past. Yeah, right?
Because look, there's more than one. Wrestling has more than one family. WWE has more than one Bullet Club leader.
Yeah,
and we don't know what's happening with Finn's with Finn's Judgment Day. So there could be claims for that title and for going after Cody. There's so many different angles that they can go with it that I don't think that's galaxy brain at all, man. I mean, I think it is that, not to use that as pejorative, but I think that is a good forward thinking because he's going to need that win to catapult him.
Exactly, because he's not going to win the title. If he wins the title, he's not going to win and go against 4K yet, carrying yet. It's not time. We gotta wait.
4K.
We gotta wait.
You need to fall before you pray, right?
Yeah,
I see you, my brother. You gotta fall before you pray. Heard.
It's not gonna be Bobby Lashley. At least I hope not. It's got to be somebody that Cody can do cinema with, because the thing is like I coming out of it, like I just feel it I just feel it. You know what I'm saying? That there's just a better story interaction for Cody on SmackDown going into the rest of the year if he moves to that show. It just makes the most sense to me. But that is our views on that. So we're all like 3 for 3 here, or 2 for 2 here. We all agree on all these matches. However, major match here, brother versus brother, Jimmy and Jay, the Usos, the Uso powers collide. But listen, the moment that Jimmy did what he did at SummerSlam, I said they got their request approved. I said this on the show. I said, it's going to be the Mania program. I said they got the request approved. Literally, what was it? The day before Mania last year, they had an interview with Ariel Helwani, and they expressed with so much joy and want to have the match against each other at WrestleMania. They specifically said we want to face each other at WrestleMania, and we all know that knowing H, he's gonna give you what you want. It just might not be on your time, but this is the one time. This is the one time you gave them what they wanted. I think that this match, to me, fuck the story, fuck the super kicks that people keep making jokes about. I think that this is special on a lot of different avenues. I think this is not many times has this happened, but also what a great fucking way to say thank you for all of their work that they did before the pandemic, throughout the pandemic, with these tag titles, with the bloodline angle, Jay getting his just desserts, Jimmy finally getting his. This to me is the biggest endorsement of just the company saying thank you and allowing them to do what they do. Because I mean, this is unprecedented that it ever happens. But what have you guys thought about the build to this so far? What have you thought about Jay being on his own, Jimmy being on his own? Like, how have we got here? What have you guys thought about how we got here?
Ooh, I feel like the story arc for Jay Uso has actually been pretty incredible and kind of like monumental and kind of like almost unfathomable to an extent. Jay Uso got the crowd rocking on Mondays. Every Monday, He's on the poster for Raw. They took Ricochet off and put the Jey Uso on as soon as he showed up, and he was he has been probably the highlight of one of the shows and really a cornerstone of one of the shows. And at no point ever in my career, besides I guess before 2020, did I ever think that this would happen. That main event Jey Uso would actually be main event Jey Uso without Roman Reigns. So for this story to kind of like come together now, and for Jimmy to be the hating older brother, because he's like, damn, my younger brother again. That would really be the word. I don't have an older brother, but I'm assuming when your older brother is more popping than you, or where your younger brother is more popping than you, rather.
By seconds, by the way, by literal seconds.
I taught him everything he knew. Damn it, I taught him everything he knew. I'm the one. He wear that because of me. He rocked that because of me. You know, something along those lines. I feel like that's what makes it incredibly personal. I don't have any expectations for the match. Not to say that it's bad or anything. I'm just like, I'm not sure what this looks like with Uso versus Uso, to be honest with you. But I do know narratively that how this has come together and how they've like over a course of time, it hasn't been a complete straight through for the last 8 months. They've been trying to kill each other. It's been moment after moment, picking after picking. And finally, Jey Uso's like, I had enough. He set out the big challenge for WrestleMania. Jimmy accepted. We are finally here. This is what WrestleMania is kind of all about. Like these are the programs you have going into WrestleMania. These are the big once in a lifetime almost kind of programs you have in a WrestleMania. Brother versus brother, family versus family. This is everything that everyone's going to buy into. I love this program thus far. And yeah, I'm more so like, all right, Jimmy. I feel like Jimmy needs a moment. This is not my prediction, but I feel like Jimmy needs a moment. Jimmy is very much a henchman.
But I feel like that goes into it. Okay, because I think that ultimately the battle is of ego, is that Jimmy doesn't have a character without his brother. And I think that he thinks that he does. And I think that's why he was so jealous of him, because his brother actually has a personality. He has a place to belong. And I think that ultimately what makes this so almost Shakespearean in a way is that Jimmy's place has always been by his brother's side, not Roman's side. And that he should be okay with letting his brother go. And I think ultimately it's about someone who doesn't want to let go. Roman doesn't want to let go of his family for selfish reasons. Jimmy doesn't want to let go of his brother because he doesn't want to be alone. That's why he went back to the bloodline. He's never been alone, but Jay was willing to take that step. And I think a lot of people can a lot of people don't think of wrestling in that sense where it's like it could be something that's relatable, but I feel like a lot of people go through that. It's like when I lived in Virginia, I was like, Virginia doesn't really serve me as an adult anymore. I gotta leave. I moved across the country to do that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people didn't like that. A lot of people thought that I was stupid for doing that. And it's kind of the same sense of that. It's like some people just can't think outside of their own worldview. And I think that's why the Jimmy stuff might have been perplexing to us on the outset, where it's like, why did he go back? And I'm like, no, that's part of the story. He doesn't have a personality outside of Roman Reigns, and he's never been able to do that. But he needs to realize that, Jay's never hated on him and has always given him a chance to do that. And that's why I think this story is so resonant. And it's actually one of the best stories on the show because it's not in your face all the time. Jay has won and lost and failed and succeeded without the bloodline. But in most of his failures, his brother has been a part of it. His brother has been out there. When we think he's about to beat Gunther, Jimmy has come out and ruined it. When they thought they were going to win the tag titles, Jimmy has come out because he said, you can't do this without me. I'm always going to be big brother. And that to me is the best crux of this story.
It's almost power. I don't know if it's Shakespearean or, 50 Centian power-esque. You know what I'm saying? With this kind of storyline. Jeff, how have you watched this from the vantage point? Like, what do you think about this feud and kind of everything going into it?
It looks like family to me. The family dynamic is on full display. Younger sibling versus older sibling, looking for adoration and adulation from your family. the fact that they really can't live without each other. Both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Jay wants Jimmy by his side while he's main event Jey Uso. Jimmy needs Jay by his side because he doesn't have the confidence that he could be Jay, what Jay is now.
Yeah.
And he kind of embodies the character of the type of person who projects their insecurities onto people who are making it happen. Because you can't do it doesn't mean I can't. But you're going to say I can't because you're scared of your own failure. And this happening with a familial tie, it just elevates it to a whole nother level. Like, we're watching, these dudes are 16 years in the game. Rikishi's sons are part of a spectacle match at WrestleMania. Yeah. If I told my teenage self that, I would have been like, one-on-one first. Yeah. That's what I would have said, one-on-one. Then I would have had to say, what did they do? Not that they was whack. They was never whack. But if you saw how they evolved from the face paint, they went through FCW. They did a NXT 1.0 stint. They've made it from the dark matches of Mania to the pre-show of Mania to actually being on Mania. That is a ill trajectory, and I just celebrate them because it's gotta be. I felt that passion and that love and that connection in the Ariel Helwani interview. Like, they wanted this and they got it. And I think there's a lot of generations of wrestlers who admire and envy their position, that they are finally a part of a regime that can see the vision that they have and actually be able to implement it. And it's not just because. It's not a byproduct of the Bloodline saga. It's an integral part of the saga. It's one of those mini sagas where we've talked about how it's like anime, right? It's like the three episode arc that they take the detour, but it's not, it won't get put on the filler list. It's like, you need to watch this in order to understand what's going to happen in the next chapter. This is what Jimmy versus Jay in WrestleMania is.
Because it interweaves through, really, in a lot of ways, I say this Mania is the consequence of what happened at that main event last year. Everyone is facing the consequences, whether they're the good guys or the bad guys. Cody's facing the consequences of this because now The Rock has come back and things have changed. And now you really got to show out because there's more eyes on you wanting to see this. But with Jimmy and Jay is, you guys started from here and then y'all broke up over jealous bullshit, essentially. And this has been the consequences of Roman Reigns' own actions, that he has driven family apart. That's his consequence. And he's lost them. And I said this on the show, I think a week ago as well, is that we're thinking of it as brother versus brother, but it's really brother versus brother versus brother. Solo is a part of this as well. And I think ultimately what comes out of this match is there needs to be an appreciation, or I hope they write in an appreciation of the fact that not only did they do this, but I'll say my prediction here, Jay finally proves that he is better than Jimmy, and Jimmy has to accept it, and Solo has to accept it, and they have to see finally what it's like to be your own man, and that leads to the consequences of what happens possibly in night 2. So I think that there's so many things that kind of go into this. I really love the promo that he had the other week where he told Jimmy that he missed him. And I told Mills a couple weeks ago, I said, I think that ultimately this has to end with them coming back together. And I think the only way that they do this is that Jay has to be the one to come out on top and show that, like, even if we are a team, it doesn't mean that I'm better than you if I choose to do my own thing. We can be a team and I can still be a solo act. And I think that that's what they have to come out here with. But Jeff, what do you think? Who do you think is coming out on top here?
Man, I was trying to find an angle. You said that so eloquently, by the way. I'm just like, I'm thinking through like what I was gonna say. Jimmy, I was trying to find an angle for Jimmy to win, and probably put doubt in Jay's mind that, am I main event Jey Uso? I can't even beat my brother. Maybe my brother's right. Then I think about it. Technically, Jay is there's mad at the Fatus, but I think he's a middle child, technically. There's wild Fatus, bro. I think there's more of them. But in this trio, he's technically the middle child. So is he going to have to overcome some of that as well? I think if you take this in the context of the overall Bloodline saga, you kind of have to have Jay win, because now Jimmy is going to have to prove himself one more time as being valuable to the Bloodline. So when I think about it, not just in the sense of hashtag good match, but in the sense of the overall story, I don't know what Jimmy winning does for Jay. Jay is gonna be out there helping Cody no matter what.
Yeah, and Jimmy failing puts him in that position again, where he's not only questioning himself, but Roman is putting him out again. And it's like, well, why do I keep putting up with this if Jay left and he's successful and then he beat me after leaving? What's that going to look like? It has the house of cards has to fall down. The house of Reigns has to fall. And I think that what we're not looking at is this match being because think about it, these are the pillars of the bloodline. It's not Roman and Rock. It's Heyman, it's Solo, it's the Usos. Those are the pillars. If he loses them, you just got Heyman holding it all up, and he can't do it by himself. So I think that people are not looking at this story as like really as big of a deal as it is. Like it really is a big deal, and I think that Triple H and his booking will make it that way.
And I'll even real quick, Mills. I'll even go one step further. Right, Jimmy may not be the only one taking that excommunication vacation come Monday.
Yeah.
if I'm feeling what y'all feeling, I'm riding y'all wave.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of pink slips. It's gonna be a lot of the bloodline is going in a different direction. There's gonna be a lot of economic headwinds. There's gonna be a lot of keeping up with the industry. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be a lot of that going on Monday. So this is going to be a house divided. Destroyed and divided, and who's left standing is going to be really important. So I say I'm rolling with Jimmy as well. I'm rolling with Jay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I have anything else to add, to be honest with you, because I mean, this story just like means so much, and the characters in it. And to be honest with you, Jay has just come so far along with everything. He's really been like the surprise of like this all of like him being an actual star. Him resonating with people legitimately. I remember a couple months ago, he talked about it because he had this Cricketless Wireless signing, and he's like, "I can't believe people showed up." I'm like, "You main event Jey Uso now." He's like, "I can't believe people showed up to talk to me."
Yeah,
and it's hard for me because I do think the end result, when you brought it up, I was like, yeah, the end result is probably them ending back up in a tag team. But also, I'm not ready for that just yet. I feel like Jey Uso is really rocking on a different level right now. And while it would be great for having them back as a tag team for the tag team division, I kind of want to see what happens in this conquest afterwards and how actually they find their way back to each other, which, to be honest, could happen at the next WrestleMania, given how this story is going.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to say,
how great would it be if this match ends and they hug?
I think they're going to do the Jay's definitely going to do the "I'm sorry, I love you" and then super kick the shit out of him. You know what I'm saying? You know, sorry, Oos. You know what I'm saying?
I would love this match to have been like no DQ, but like I get why it can't be. There's going to be probably another one that happens on the show. It's why they've kept these matches on Mania relatively like regular ass match, and I think people need to really respect it. Like you can't have no Hell in a Cell. You can't, because like these main events are going to be like movie level. Like there's gonna be a lot of shit going on these main events, so like I almost want there to be like a fucking no DQ street fight, but I get why they can't do it with these two.
This is gonna be cinematic nonetheless. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of talking, there's gonna be a lot of posturing, there's gonna be a lot of head, smudging and all the other stuff like that. I feel like this is going to tell the story of brother and brother. Yeah, a lot of that. So
out of that,
Jey Uso's coming out the victor in this one. And I just look forward to what happens afterwards. This is, again, still one of the greatest stories. Jey Uso is going to go down as having probably one of the most complete character arcs that they've ever been. Like when people talk about character arcs, like when people talk about Vegeta, for instance, in Dragon Ball Z, like this is that kind of character arc where you change, evolve, and assimilate, and you become your own man, and you pull back a little bit of ego and you get a little bit of ego there and you're able to move kind of on your own. This is kind of what it does. And it's something that we've really never seen in WWE before, to be honest with you.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really excited for this match. I know that people have the memes of the how many super kicks over under. Don't matter, man. I think ultimately what it's
46 and a half, by the way.
Ultimately, what it's about is that you got two people, again, it's mirrors of each other. They're mirrors of each other, and I think these brothers need to find their way back home again and find out why they love each other so much. And that's why I love that, because, you know, it's not often that you get a story that resonates really to what you go through in life, especially with so many stories on this WrestleMania card. I think more than anything are no bullshit, and they're very much like human and relatable stories, and it's why we love this shit. It's why we watch this, and you know we're going to talk more about those stories coming up on the show. But Jeff, thank you so much for being on the show. Trying Prime, my eyes is like, remember Beavis and Butthead when he turns into Cornholio? I'm feeling like that right now with this Prime energy drink. I might just run around the house screaming, I am Cornholio.
Yo, you remember when we were supposed to get superpowers? I think that was 2021. I feel it charging up. Like I'm like, what am I gonna get? Because I think my X gene just got
man. Jeff J 97. Shit, man.
Bro, we're about to get our quirks, bro.
Right. Oh, word, yeah. It's quirk time. It's quirk time.
It's about to happen. But thank you so much for this. Thank you for being just one of our most ardent supporters and just really supporting everything that we do. And we, of course, we do the same for you, man. So thank you so much.
Yeah, you already know, man. And thank you for having me on. This is ill. I've watched y'all do this WrestleMania recap for years, and I'm blessed and I'm happy to be a part of it. I'm honored to be a part of it, and I hope y'all keep going. I'm gonna be watching. I've watched. You are watching this in the future now, to where I know the results of the previous sections, but I do not know what's to come. So I will be watching intently with y'all, with the rest of the crew. And if y'all watching this on the YouTube, you already know the vibes. Like, comment, subscribe. That's the holy trinity right there.
Yes,
do
sir.
that. Don't be a hater. And run it up, because these brothers do amazing work on the A Show Network, and it should be supported and known worldwide. So keep doing your thing, and we're going to be watching, man. And thank you for having me once again.
For sure. All right. We're going to be right back on the WrestleMania Prediction Show with more predictions and another special guest. So stay tuned with us. Peace.